kind of look on you and think, this isn't right.
Hello, welcome to this video. We are lighting the fire. Holy shite.
Hot coal step plays havoc with the fixtures. Well, those are your latest stories. I'll be back at 6 o'clock.
For the
Better
very
get the fire
latest,
on.
GB News direct your smartphone. Sign up
Should
to GB News by scanning the QR
burn
code
away
or go to
nicely.
gbnews.com/alerts.
We've got a strong case here, Mr. Emerson. You haven't just been washed out, you've been rinsed. I specialised in nursery rhymes since college, but business didn't really take off until I made a TV ad. Because nothing rhymes with injustice. Now, business is booming. We're even opening a second branch. Be honest with me, how high were you when you jumped over the moon? Right.
Been to Poland? You'd love it. There's Warsaw, really picturesque. Don't forget to look up. Journey north to the famous port of Gdansk. And when you've done that, you can go to Hell. Hell Beach, that is. Go south to gorgeous Krakow. There's great bars and restaurants in its charming square. Or Wrocław, the Venice of Poland, with over 100 bridges.
I think it's going to be quite a successful fire lighting session, don't you?
Traditional Christmas markets. Poland, more than just a destination.
Yes.
Welcome to Madison and Mayfair Home.
Looks like it's going to be a successful fire lighting session.
To create the home of interior excellence.
It's going.
Discover
So it's a bit. It's not exactly a top down. It's a top. Yeah, the paper's at the top. The wood's at the bottom. The kindling's in the middle, and the firelighters are the top, the middle, and the bottom.
Today and discover the home of interior excellence.
The winter sale is here at Motorvo. We've got great offers on nearly new vehicles with only delivery
Because it's a log burner, you keep the ash. You don't get rid of the ash. So the wood sits on the ash. Yeah, sure, you can clean it out every now and again, which I need to do. I've got nails trapped in the base bit, so I need to get them out of there because it's stopping that from opening and shutting.
So search Motorvo today.
The warning signs of pulmonary fibrosis can be subtle. Like
So it is lighting away nicely.
Or feeling out of breath after doing simple tasks like climbing stairs or carrying shots.
I move if he is in one of those, probably out of charge. But listen, yeah, so apologies, but I'll try and get him back here tomorrow. Alright, Charles soon, so stay with us, but huge apologies. But it's time now for the Great British Debate this out, and I'm asking, should there be a national inquiry into the grooming
I'm
scandal?
not sure it's going very well, is it?
Minister Tim Loughton has warned that Labour's key plan to tackle grooming will backfire, saying a proposed law requiring mandatory reporting of child abuse could overwhelm police with vexatious allegations. Well, it's a bit like what happened with, what's his name? Hamza Yusuf, or Useless, with his plan, wasn't it? He had some sort of plan, hate crime, non-crime hates and things. And in the end, police were overwhelmed. Yes. Unfortunately, they all complained about him. So with the Great British Debate this out, I'm asking, should there be a national inquiry into the grooming scandal?
I've got a problem here, it's not going. It's not going very well.
We mentioned the national
dear.
inquiry. I think we can carry on from there. Do you think we need to do it?
We definitely do need to do it. The scope for the JE report was far too high in terms of what the industry covered. It took, 7 years to come out with a report?
Try again.
She said her conclusion, the nation has been scarred.
I think it's probably because of the ash.
Left thousands of victims
There's too
in
much
its
ash
poisonous wake. Nothing
at the
has been
bottom.
enacted since Theresa May had
That's
the
why it's
report
becoming
commissioned.
increasingly difficult to
Nothing
light.
has been done about it. But
So
I think
I need
that
to,
report in
for
itself,
tomorrow,
in its
I need to clean
essence,
that out.
must be the basis for a
Yeah, I
new
need to
inquiry, a new public inquiry, which,
clean it
not
out
forgetting,
properly.
4 out of people in this country polled actually wants to do. And we cannot forget, we must not forget the victims that are caught up in all of this.
See how it spreads when you open the door a wee bit, it sort of spreads it to the left.
And as the
Left and right as the wind swirls around inside there.
Peters has already said, they're looking now at Glasgow. They're looking at new cities, new towns, all up and down the country. People at quite a high level, I think, must have been complicit, at least in their knowledge of what was going on. And we, as the public, have got a right to know. But moreover, before what we think, what we want, it's the victims I feel for, and their families, and the children born from rape.
What do you think of Khadija's comments with regard to West Streeting? Now, Khadija was making the point that this is another sort of attempt to kind of silence people once again, to say, oh, don't say anything because otherwise we'll end up with a mass shooting like what happened in New Zealand.
I think that's going to go now.
Many
Yeah,
in the
that's going now.
communities want the inquiries. They want these wicked people to be exposed. And
It's
obviously
fairly
this
jumping
is
around.
a very conservative, extreme
It's going
element.
to the right, going to the
It's
left,
not
going to
the
the right,
main
going to the
community.
left.
What do you think of that?
Well,
Left
I think
and right.
one of the most shocking things about this whole scandal is that we know from the inquiries that have already taken place, there have been 10 of various different scope, we know for a fact that some councils, local councils, didn't intervene, didn't do enough for fear of looking racist. And that is a huge problem. And you're completely right now to say that this is not something that would apply to
Wow, that's fairly going, isn't it? It's going to the right and the left, right and left, right and left. But it is kind of in the middle, I can see it at the back there. So it is going now.
Of why that was. There is one thing that I just want to...
Well, I think Adita made a point that there's some sort of inherent, almost indoctrination in the, even when she was growing up, the man is very misogynistic and is very, some people make it patriarchal, and some people will take this to an extreme.
Yeah, and I think that unfortunately that is the case in certain conservative, small c conservative elements of society of all different backgrounds and races. I do just want to nail one point which I think has bordered on misinformation in the last week or so, which is the idea that there was a sort of complete cover-up conspiracy of silence in the mainstream.
That's looking a bit better,
The Times in particular and a number of other newspapers have been reporting on this and throwing huge resources at this for
The sale is here at Motor.
How's it going? Oh dear.
Vehicles with only delivery
It's
miles,
kind of...
like the stylish Fiat 500 or the rugged plug-in Jeep Compass Hybrid. Plus,
Come on.
savings on our huge selection of used cars in store and online at motorvogue.co.uk.
So it's spread over the right now.
Like this Fiat
Do you know what? I'm getting biscuits and that.
Savings on over 1,000 cars and vans. Your next vehicle could be waiting for you at Motorvogue. There's so many savings to be had, so search
Yeah, it's
Motorvogue
going,
today.
it's going, it's going.
Discover our vibrant contemporary community.
So what you need to get it going is you need plenty dry kindling.
Design spacious homes.
I think that kindling that I use is maybe not big enough. No, it's too big. It's not thin enough.
Well-being in mind. Communities
And it's just chopped up, seasoned wood as well.
place where the darker nights filled with a warm glow.
Oh
And
God,
vacancies
look.
become lush
Come on!
nights. Your new life starts today.
I founded McInnes to give you the opportunity to acquire your very own cask of single malt Scotch whisky.
Every cask has its own unique flavour and character. So if you're...
True.
Still struggling here.
It's probably true as well.
I've had to put another fire lighter in it.
I'll take you first.
Uh,
It is true.
I reckon it's probably because
Rising house prices have caused this spike. Yes, of course, some of them have realised it's
maybe there's not much wind either. That's probably what's doing it.
Do a lot more stuff at home. Right, question 3. Closest answer wins. It's the FA Cup third round this weekend, but what year did the football competition start? Andy Williams.
1874.
Well, I'm Scottish, I wouldn't know.
Say anything, mate.
FA doesn't apply to me, I'm Scottish.
Well, the closest answer wins, so just come up with one. Any year.
1954.
Right, I hope somebody's doing the maths.
I'm Scottish.
1871.
3 years away.
Yeah, well done. That's two.
Still wrong though.
No, can he have that?
Still wrong.
It's the closest answer wins. He wins that.
Come
It's
on.
actually 51. It's the oldest football competition.
Come on, what's going on here?
This is an open
Happened
question.
it?
Why did world chess number 1 Magnus Carlsen quit a recent major tournament? Andy Williams.
He wasn't allowed to wear jeans.
Played what do?
He wasn't allowed to wear jeans, checkmate.
Oh, let's see if you're right. Who thought he couldn't wear jeans? Andy, obviously that's the UK. Answered it after impossible. So it doesn't matter. You can copy him all you like. First one to the right answer gets it. Alright, Question 5, last one, multiple choice. The world's oldest woman died this week. At what age was she? Was she A, 120, B, start, finish. I haven't finished the question, unfortunately, you'll be disqualified.
You did finish the question. You may take the answer.
No, you've got to, this that is part of the question. A, 120, B, 122, or C, 116? Andy Williams.
116.
Okay, and Claire, what do you know?
120.
120, she says the answer is... It's C, 116. Japanese woman from Nikko Ituja was 116 years old, actually the same age as my great-great-grandmother. That's
Amazing.
incredible. I am named after her, Nana Ekwe Amoatima.
Fine, that's fantastic,
After my
Nana.
great-great-grandmother, who died at 116.
Amazing.
Isn't it just?
Do you want that longevity?
I do. In fact, if there was a pill that I could take to live forever,
Really?
I absolutely gobble it down. I'll take it forever. Would you?
I don't know about forever.
That's very smoky.
What do you think? Today, I've been
Really are struggling today to get this fire going.
Off the pound plummets, and according to our Twitter poll, 4% of you say yes, 96% of you say no. I've got to say a huge thank you to my panel, political commentator Claire Muldoon, thank you very much, and also the political commentator Andy Williams, and a huge thank you to you at home for your company.
I can only just say it must be because it's not windy.
Peters, 8 p.m, be there or be square. I'll leave you with the weather.
God's sake, this is dull.
A nice bright morning will generate a lovely warm day, right through to the evening. Boxed Solar, sponsors of weather on GB News.
Hello there, good afternoon. Welcome to your latest GB News weather updates provided by the Met Office. It's quite a misty weekend out there for some of us. Some freezing fog patches lingering in places because we've got high pressure in charge across much of the UK today, and that is providing light winds and therefore very good conditions for those fog patches to just persist right throughout the day. Even into this forthcoming night, it will start to reform.
This is
terrible.
Terrible.
Ireland also expecting some quite widespread fog overnight. This cloud in the middle will provide some patchy outbreaks of drizzle in places, and that could cause some icy stretches where it's falling on frozen surfaces, because particularly in the east we are expecting another widespread to be developing here. But as we start off Sunday morning, there is going to be a noticeable west to east split.
Right, I think I've got it this time.
Whilst it certainly is going to be very chilly off towards the east, we've got some slightly milder air pushing into the west, so parts of Wales, southwest England and Northern Ireland. Temperatures actually starting on the positive side of the temperature scale. It certainly is though worth remembering that those fog patches will be around first thing in the morning, so if you are travelling, do remember to take care. They will slowly lift and clear as we head throughout the day.
Yeah, I think that's it going this
in
time.
the northwest, because this is where we're going to start to see the winds picking up in strength later on in the day. Gales perhaps developing across the Outer Hebrides into the afternoon and evening as we see patchy outbreaks.
Surely, in fact, that's it going now.
Generally a calmer day for England and Wales. That high pressure is still in charge, but it will provide some sunshine.
Surely.
It eventually does clear off. But temperatures struggling here for 5 degrees Celsius at best. But the mild air in the northwest is slowly going to push its way across more areas of the UK.
Surely. I think it's going as it's going.
Into the new working week, things are generally settling down for the most.
Moving marks a new chapter in life.
It is catching on. It's catching on.
We'll be with you every
Yes.
We're here.
It's catching on.
Life's moment. The city move.
Right. It's going. It's just not going great. What are we into? Well.
I've heard it all now. It's 6 p.m. and this is the Saturday
We're
Fun.
half an hour into it. When I get home tomorrow, I'm going to have to properly clean it
A
out.
very good evening and a very warm
Yeah,
welcome to
get
the
the ash
Saturday
out of
Fun.
it.
I'm Darren Grimes, and tonight, my friends, we've got more drama than
I
yesterday's
think that's
judgment of
what's
the
doing it.
Donald Trump political hush money trial. If I promised
Yeah.
to hush, my friends, I reckon many on the left would probably pay up to keep me quiet. Not such luck on this show. Nigel Farage, he's just taken to the stage in Chester, claiming that the Reform Party could run this country better than Labour. Well, it's not exactly a bold claim, Nigel. I mean, come on. You could put the brains of Starmer, Reeves and Rayner and Lammy into some birds, and somehow they'd still fly backwards. Now, the BBC, they're all about tackling disinformation, they say, this week. Except they're busy spreading it. Take this. They posted about a gun-wielding leader at a Ghana inauguration, sparking concern. Well, Elon Musk's ex, the community noted it and set the record straight. Turns out the leader was cheered, not feared. Maybe BBC Verify should start by verifying their own content before going after anti-Labour tech titans. Strikes me there's a little bit of an agenda at play there. And yes, my friends, over Christmas, I was very much on your screens more than the adverts. But it was an honour and a privilege. That said, though, it really is wonderful to be back with the regular superb Saturday 5 crew. As a panel, we've all grown really rather fond of Willie. So we
yes.
to the outback.
Is it going? Yeah, it is.
At least 50 towns.
Yeah.
Well, all that comes as 10 Reform councillors in Derbyshire leave the party over the leadership of Nigel Farage. Meanwhile, the Health Secretary has warned the use of inflammatory language over grooming gangs risks vilifying entire communities. He also says he fears rhetoric could lead to atrocities similar to the Christchurch mosque shootings in New Zealand, which killed more than 50 people. West Streeting told the Guardian newspaper, there are people in my community who have either Pakistani heritage or look different, who are now more fearful today than they were before. In other news, Ukraine says its troops have taken 2 North Korean soldiers prisoner
I think that's
in the
it,
Kursk
sort of.
region. Writing on social media platform X, those are your latest headlines.
It's really going now.
More in just an hour.
I have to say it's been quite slow tonight to get it going. Look at that, that's really going now. That's been quite difficult tonight. I need to look into this. We need to get some better kindling, I think. It's probably going to be the answer.
Cheers very much, Will. It's Saturday night, my friends, and you're with the Saturday Fun. I'm Darren Grimes, and I can promise that you're in for a very lively show. But, well, actually,
It looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
Someone's phone went off during that, my perfect intro there. I must say, I thought that was a very good one, and it was ruined by the leftist.
So the woman on here tonight, she's got like a South African name. She talks a lot of the feminist stuff. Now, they're purportedly anti-woke, but she pushes feminist stuff. To me, that's like another type of woke. So she's dishonest. Some of the stuff she said, she is genuinely nasty, and I think she's actually, I would put her down as woke, part of the 52% population who is oppressed.
Well, I thought we could just make this the Saturday 6, seeing as I'm already here, Darren. But, you know, besides that, because we can't do it tonight, we're going to have an explosive PM, so please do tune in to hear more. We've got Ben Habib going up against Gwaine Towlers as well. That's going to be a massive head-to-head. You're not going to want to miss that. They're going to be talking about whether Nigel...
This unspeakable horror upon a child, because she's white, isn't part of any red, white and blue community that I belong to. How about you at home, my friends? I doubt you're in disagreement with much of what I had to say there, but we'll see what my panel make of this. Kai, you are up West Streeting's backside. You must have a few words to say about, not literally, I must clarify, but you must have a few words to say about this.
No, yeah, I'm right here, as you can see. Look, you're twisting West Streeting's words completely here, and it's so unfair to watch. What he's presented is actually a very sensible and nuanced argument.
Oh well, it is kind of going, isn't it? It is going. Not brilliantly, but it is going.
He said, no. He said that you could both believe that political correctness has failed the victims of these rape gangs, while also believing that people of Pakistani heritage across the UK who are sickened by these crimes, as we all are worried that we can be hard by the same brush. And I don't think it's a step too far to say that you might imagine in the future if this heightened rhetoric continues and this rhetoric against particular communities in the UK continues, that you'll see something like Christchurch, the Christchurch massacre in a mosque in New Zealand, which had on the magazine of the gun inscribed, "This is for Rotherham." Now, if that happens here in the UK, we know exactly the rhetoric to blame.
Charlie, you've got some forthright views on this. I don't think you've got the urge to go out and shoot a load of people dead. I mean, I just find this is the kind of rhetoric that is inflammatory in a way in which they accuse us of being.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. All this talk of inflammatory rhetoric, but it's really the powers that be that are actually advancing that kind of language. The late great comedian Norm Macdonald once said that he hopes ISIS never get their hands on a nuclear bomb and kill 50 million Americans, because think of the repercussions for the Muslim community. And that's really the attitude that's going across here, because you said about the Pakistani community in this country who is rightly appalled.
Well, I think that should be enough on it.
There's many 50 cities across the United Kingdom. But I'm not being funny. Where are these people? Where are they marching in the streets against what's going on? I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the kind of condemnation that we would see come out of the English community, for example, if our people were engaging in this kind of behaviour.
I mean, look, you're right. And you know what? If I was being really generous, I'd say you're absolutely right, and that's what's going on here. But it isn't. Wes Streeting almost lost his seat to a pro-Gaza Muslim candidate. And Jess Phillips. They are starting to panic. What you must remember, Kai, that in Rotherham alone, 1 in 57 men of Pakistani origin were prosecuted for this crime. 1 in 57.
That is such a selective use of stats, and you know it. Because in Rotherham, there was rightly a big gang mustered, a big rape gang mustered. The number of actual Pakistani males in
A simple chest exam could be key in catching pulmonary fibrosis.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got these bad boys. We still have 6, 12, 18, 20, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30 of these. I've been going a bit sparing with them, but these really put a lot of heat out. So if I put this in, I'll have to wait a bit because there's no room for it, but if I put this in later, then it'll really heat up the house. Yeah, definitely.
The winter sale is here at Motorvo. We've got great offers on nearly new vehicles with only delivery miles, like the stylish Fiat 500 or the rugged plug-in Jeep Compass Hybrid. Plus massive savings on our huge selection of used cars in store and online at motorvo.co.uk. We even have vans too.
To actually say to countries, we are going to send them back whether you like it or not.
You and I both know that the top 10 countries of small boats crossings are a litany of countries with huge serial human rights abuses taking place. Syria, Iran, but that's an exception, I'll grant you that. But Iraq, Iran, Syria, Afghanistan, are you really telling me that those people should be deported back to the country they come from? Albania, that was 2 years ago, mate. The rate, after the deal with Albania, to its credit, which is Sunak signed, Albanian small boats crossings dropped by 93%.
Yes, you know why? There's two reasons. Firstly, those are the people that they're deporting, the Albanian criminals back to Albania, and they will just come back. But secondly, GB News actually, about 18 months ago, did a good expose on this, where the Albanians have switched back to lorries now, because they know that on the small boats they're going to be deported. But Kai, those countries, if they are at war, those people can come here and then claim asylum at the airport. They're jumping on dinghies.
Yeah, just because a country isn't a particularly nice place to live doesn't necessarily mean you are a humanitarian refugee when you are leaving it. I'm sick of this mischaracterisation. We go through this every week. 80 to 90% of the people who are coming into this country are economic migrants. They are not refugees. We know this.
That is not true.
You come from a dodgy country just because it's not particularly pleasant. You are not necessarily...
I love this characterisation. It's not particularly pleasant. We're talking about Iran. We're talking about Syria, Afghanistan. Get
inside Iran. Will, what's going on inside Iran at the moment?
Just to bring it back to the UK, right? So if we can agree that the deportation of illegal migrants is something that's desirable, can we agree on that?
Yes,
that's the premise of this.
Yes.
In 2017, Pew Research Centre put out a report that said there could be as many as 1.2 million illegal migrants in the UK. And since then, hundreds of thousands more have come across on boats, on lorries, etc. So it's been 6 months since Labour took office. They've deported 16,000 in that time. If we extrapolate that out to 5 years, it's only 160,000 deportations. What we need is at least 1.2 million. So would you say, given that deportations of illegals are a good thing, would you support a programme of mass deportations that sees millions deported?
I think it needs to be proportionate to the economic resource that's deployed, but I think this is a step in the right direction. It's certainly better than we've seen. It's still the best since 2018.
But until each and every illegal migrant who currently resides in this country, millions by the way, until each and every one is removed, then what can we really call ourselves? A self-respecting,
You've gone from 1.2 million, which is...
yeah, getting there,
couldn't be as many.
Years. We actually have a
Right.
quote from Zuckerberg in
Right.
surprisingly pitch
Time for
perfect
this
speech
bad
he
boy.
gave earlier in the week. Let's roll that clip.
The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point to once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US.
That's just one of the series of really positive measures that Meta are taking. Hallelujah. Because content moderation has always been a nonsense. It will always run into the twin problems of interpretation and selection. There is lefty fact checkers who will always pick the certain things that they want to fact check, and they're inevitably coming from conservative politicians. And then when you do pick a fact, unless it is the sky is blue, is open to interpretation as to how a fact checker chooses to decide whether it is true.
Yeah, I mean, fact checking. Oh god.
This for over 2,000 years.
I have to admit, I have used it against people when they've been attacking me. Yeah. I think that's fair. All's fair in love and war.
That free speech is some sort of far
But really,
device that was come up with around
Facebook's a waste of time.
as a way of stirring up hatred. It's just not, and I'm so glad that Mark Zuckerberg has come to his senses, and I think hopefully now media organisations...
That was why the cycling thing, I was doing that, what was it, no analogy, I was doing, they were looking to become an identity, cyclists were, and I was doing the, by the way, you might cut off because the screen started to heat up. I think we've finally got this thing going properly. So that's taken, God, jeez, an hour and a half it's been on. Gee. Yeah, the cyclists, I had some pretty heated arguments with cyclists. So basically I was sort of playing on the trans thing, trans, I was playing on that, yeah. At the end of the day, you know, not everybody can be a minority, like oppressed minority. Cyclists were heading for that, and it is a bit of a weird thing. It was kind of like a sort of, some of them might be homosexuals, you know, sort of thing. It was a weird sort of, I mean, not all of them are like that, but they're pretty strange. They're mostly men, they're mostly male, they're mostly, a lot of them are into that net zero shit, yeah. They might even work in it and earn money in it. I'd argued with loads of them, yeah. What happened is I was putting up videos of cyclists misbehaving on the roads and stuff, or even not misbehaving, just because, and I was getting into these. But I think what happened is a lot of them realised I was just trying to wind them up, so they don't really talk to me now. So I was getting a lot of traffic on the. I was getting a lot of traffic on my page, but it was just that weighing up the pressure and the stress. Right, it was, some of them were pretty nasty, so I blocked some of them. It was a difficult decision in some ways, a lot of it, because I was getting quite a lot of traction and a lot of views and everything, you know. But then again, I've got a duty to protect you lot as well, so You know, I can't really have some really nasty stuff on. Really, you know, because that's not fair. So you have to draw the line. So I did block a few of them, and I fell out with a lot of them. So it all sort of fizzled out. So anyway, that's Fire going. I think that's it pretty much. Fireline session's over. It's been quite a difficult one tonight. It's taken an hour and a half to get it going properly. I'm going to have to, tomorrow, I'm going to have to get all that ash out of there and start again. Start from scratch. Get it properly cleaned out. So hopefully, I mean, it'll be on most of this evening. Well, it'll be on this evening. And hopefully, it takes a long time for the ash to actually, you know, cool down. Even when I get home, it might still be have embers in it. So I hope you enjoyed that firelighting session. Thanks for watching. I'll get you in the next video. I declare it started. So the door's shut, the air's shut off.